I just think of myself as Floyd Mayweather. What I want the people to really know is this, and what they got to really know is this. I can really fight. So that's what you got to know. I don't know if he had 1 fight or 2 fights against like another YouTuber. I don't really know. He can come out, fight hard as you want to fight. The results will always be the same.
We couldn't fight in LA. Commissioner said, Floyd, don't hit him too hard. Go light on him. Take it easy on him. I said, well, LA, y'all can't get this fight.
A lot of times when guys fight me, guys fight just to go the distance, to say, I went the distance with Floyd Mayweather. But guess what? Can't stop me. You name a fighter, the results, it's always the same. I tell my kids, go out and build your own legacy like I did for myself. I was able to beat the best in my era. I'm still undefeated. I mean, I think it's gonna be crazy. And I think it's good for the sport of boxing. But I'm not worried. You can mark my word to this. I can guarantee you this. The results will always be the same.
Forget the make it look good for mom as the mitt work is snapping with that same laser-timed rhythm featuring quick bursts, clean angles, and no wasted motion, almost like muscle memory never clocked out.
He said, how you got a million? He said, how you got all the money? And boy, I don't take no punch. I move. You got it? Make sure all lady got it. You got it? Okay. I want the old lady. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm an old man. Come on. So record the old man. Oh. Whoa. Turn it up now. Oh. Okay, Mom. Come on, Mike. Come here, make it look good for Mom. Right? Make it look good for Mom. 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 Back. Get back.
The mitt, the heavy bag, and it's not just touch and move finesse anymore. Those shots are landing with intent, sharp, compact, and surprisingly heavy, like he's reminding everyone that precision can still feel like impact when it's delivered perfectly. Then you watch the sparring clips carry a different tone, not playful rounds, not casual work, but controlled intensity, calculated pressure drills, as if he's mentally preparing for a much larger, physically imposing presence across from him. And that's where the narrative gets interesting. People keep calling it a money grab, but camps don't usually run this serious for pure spectacle.
Even the sparring clips carry a different tone. Not playful rounds, not casual work, but controlled intensity, calculated pressure drills, as if he's mentally preparing for a much larger, physically imposing presence across from him. And that's where the narrative gets interesting. People keep calling it a money grab, but camps don't usually run this serious for pure spectacle.
Nope. Nope.
When two legends start preparing like this, the conversation quietly shifts. Suddenly it's less about nostalgia headlines and more about legacy pride, competitive ego, and unfinished psychological battles.
Look. Yes.
Because once Floyd steps between those ropes, nobody is debating business models anymore. All eyes lock in on one thing: two iconic fight identities colliding again under real lights, real stakes, and very real intensity. Interview 6. Those razor-sharp training visuals of Floyd moving like time never touched him suddenly slam into Sean Porter's skepticism like a reality check wearing boxing gloves, because Porter isn't reacting to mid-work highlights, he's reacting to logic. The moment he says this matchup doesn't make sense, I can already feel the analytical brakes being pressed, not out of disrespect but out of pure fighter perspective. He even compares it to something closer to spectacle logic than traditional ring logic, and honestly, that line alone shifts the whole conversation from hype to feasible.
I mean, unless you know the history of these two guys.
Yeah, they don't like each other too much, do they, Sean?
When you look at the history, it's kind of like for a street fight. It doesn't make sense for like a in the ring situation, and so it's kind of like, I guess for the sake of words, crazier things have happened, and then now you have to say, well, no.
Then Porter questioning how you even analyze a Tyson versus Floyd fight. That's the real puzzle. You've got a near 60-year-old heavyweight icon versus a defensive mastermind whose entire career was built on speed, angles, and the art of not being there when danger arrives. And when Porter points out Tyson likely did minimal sparring before Jake, I'm sitting here thinking that's a brutally important detail, because timing against Floyd without sharp sparring is like trying to solve a chess match. While half asleep, he literally says Tyson would need fast sparring partners just to prepare for Floyd's rhythm, and that's such a fighter-level observation casual fans overlook.
Because he did not spar. If he's going to get in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, the thing he needs more than he needed with Jake is timing. The timing just wasn't there in the fight with Jake Paul. If he's going to get in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, he's going to have to do some sparring. He's going to have to spar some, really fast guys. And I don't know at what level he's going to take this serious. You know what I mean? I don't know. Mike, I think he's just beyond that age of, there's something you can do to muster it up.
Right.
I think he's all ketchup. Yeah, there's no mustard.
Then boom, the cat and mouse reference for Floyd lands perfectly, because that's been his career blueprint for decades. The wild mental image Porter drops, though, if Mike gets a hold of him, that one sentence alone creates tension, because technically Floyd escapes everything, but physically that's still Mike Tyson mass and mentality, and yet Porter circles back to uncertainty, almost doubting the fight even materializes, which low-key clashes with all the intense training narratives floating around. So now we're stuck in this fascinating contradiction: elite preparation energy on one side, analytical disbelief on the other, and somewhere in the middle sits a matchup that feels both unreal and strangely compelling at the exact same time.
How to get in and get out. The thing that I think would be really interesting to see would be to see Mike get a hold of,
Yeah.
Because I think if Mike were to get a hold of him, Floyd's a professional. He knows how to get out of those things. But this is like 200 and something pounds, and it's right. Mike Tyson, and I know mentally it's I finally got you, and I wonder what that's going to look like, so it's not. So you start.
That analytical fog Porter left us in about timing, sparring, and the sheer absurd mechanics of Tyson trying to solve a cat and mouse genius suddenly crashes into WD's baffled tone, like someone turning the lights on in a room full of hype posters, because the very first energy he brings is confusion, not excitement, and honestly that says everything. When Wade literally sounds stunned, the contracts are reportedly signed, I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, this doesn't feel like a rumor anymore, this feels Like boxing leaning fully into the spectacle era, he keeps hinting at, he calls it a spin-off of Jake versus Tyson, and that comparison is brutally sharp, not disrespectful, just realistic about modern boxing economics where big names generate numbers even when logic raises eyebrows. Then he brings up the massive weight difference, and suddenly Porter's earlier "how do you even analyze this question" echoes louder in my head, because now we're not debating styles, we're debating physics versus reflex mastery.
Mike 59, Floyd 48, Mike 5'10", Floyd at 5'8". Floyd with a 72-inch reach at 5'8". Mike with one of the shortest reaches for his height, 50-7, 50-0, and their KOs. No mention of the weight here in the tail of the tape. Interesting. An exact date and precise location are not yet known, but nonetheless, Tyson said he's thrilled to be slated to mix it up with Floyd, who he hasn't always had the greatest relationship. Quote, "This fight is something neither the world nor I ever thought would or could happen." That is correct. Fair play to Mike there. Iron Mike said, however, boxing has entered a new era of the unpredictable, and this fight is as unpredictable.
Wade saying casual fans thought Mike still had something left. Hits like a quiet truth bomb, especially when he ties it back to what we visibly saw before, not myth, not actual ring movement, and when he jokes about either the whole world watching or barely anyone tuning in. That unpredictability perfectly matches Tyson's own new era of the unpredictable mindset. He quoted, "What really sticks with me though is Wade admitting he'll still watch while criticizing the spectacle because that's modern fight fandom." In one sentence, skepticism fighting curiosity. He questions legacy optics, new fans judging prime legends through late-stage exhibitions, and that collision of nostalgia versus visual reality is uncomfortable but accurate. Yet at the same time, he acknowledges the money factor without moral grandstanding, which aligns with everything Porter hinted at about purpose and paydays. So now the narrative feels layered, not just circus talk, not pure sport either, but this strange hybrid where intrigue, criticism, and unavoidable attention all coexist, whether purists like it or not.
The answer is no. Floyd, even though he's slowed down, even though he's much smaller, is going to run circles around Mike Tyson in this. Mike's going to have real trouble even getting to the fight. If we saw the Jake Paul exhibition, Mike was hospitalized for a bit. Then he had to take a lot of time off from training, had a stomach ulcer, and then again, the limping to the ring. Oh, man. The whole detrimental to his health. It's detrimental to Mike's health to even try to do this. The article keeps going, this fight will be an exhibition, so Mayweather isn't risking his perfect 50-0 record, though he doesn't sound concerned about Tyson in any way. I've been doing this for 30 years, and there hasn't been a single fighter that can tarnish.
Wade talking about spectacle boxing suddenly morphs into full insider chess talk the moment Max and the panel start dissecting this like it's less a fight and more a mega event equation, and I'm immediately locked in because Max saying let the old guys make some money isn't even sarcasm, it's business realism. Wearing a polite suit, then Shady casually drops the Tyson exhibition first, Pacquiao rematch later timeline, and I'm like, hold on, that's not a comeback plan, that's a legacy tour schedule with pay-per-view math attached. When Max brings up Bud Crawford and basically implies Floyd would never have taken that prime matchup, that's a spicy historical jab disguised as analysis, and you can feel the room half agreeing while trying not to say it too loudly. But the coldest layer is when they admit Pacquiao and Floyd aren't on that level anymore while still calling it a mega event, because that contradiction is boxing in 2026. Summarized in one breath: diminished physical primes, undefeated commercial primes.
Floyd was never going to fight Bud, but Pacquiao? By the way, when Floyd, the rumors were, or the reporting was that he was going broke, you were skeptical about it. Now that he's coming back, are you still skeptical about it?
Very good, Max. Yeah. Are you skeptical about it, Shady?
That's one thing I don't do. I don't talk about no other athletes' money. I don't do that.
By the way, my hope is that Floyd isn't going broke. So, and if he is, that he makes all the money in the world for a Pacquiao fight and rides off into the sunset a rich man. I wish him the best.
I want to fight somebody. I don't care about the money and all that.
Who you want him to fight?
That's not good with Pacquiao. Pacquiao just drew with Barrios.
I also catch Max saying he never thought Pacquiao would beat Floyd stylistically, and that lines up perfectly with the defensive hierarchy logic we've been hearing everywhere. Longer, sharper, more disciplined equals control even years later, yet the panel openly admitting the first fight wasn't even entertaining while still debating watching the rematch. That is peak fan psychology. Complaints on Monday streams on Fight Night, and when Max drops that Super Bowl thought experiment about choosing Mayweather Pacquiao live over anything else. I'm sitting here like, yeah, that's the brand gravity talking, not the athletic peak. Meanwhile, the quiet acknowledgement that it's business more than competition connects directly to the Tyson exhibition narrative, meaning this isn't random nostalgia, it's calculated event stacking, messy, competitively massive, commercially, emotionally complicated for purists, but undeniably compelling for the audience that grew up on these names.
More my style of that perfect boxer.
That's what
when
I
I do a pound for pound ranking, I'm trying to be objective. Pacquiao jumped more weight classes. What he did pound for pound to me was more impressive.
But you have him over Floyd.
But I never thought Pacquiao was going to beat Floyd, ever.
But
never
Pacquiao,
thought
he's one of my favorite fighters.
Who?
Floyd and Pacquiao, they're one of my favorite fighters. But I still want
Floyd's
to
the
see
longer, bigger, better defensive fighter.
Right.
You know,
But let's be real, what this is all about, business. This is going to be a mega event. Doesn't matter how old they are. They're the two biggest names in boxing today, even if they aren't, necessarily the most active fighters. And Mayweather's gonna have his exhibition with Mike Tyson. And
zoom out and stack everything together. Floyd's camp looking razor sharp, Porter questioning the logic, Wade calling out the spectacle layer, and Max framing it as a mega event business move. The real story stops being is this a real fight and becomes what kind of moment is this for boxing, because technically you've got elite preparation energy colliding with analytical skepticism and commercial reality all at once. One side shows discipline, timing and legacy pride through training clips that don't look casual at all, while the other side keeps reminding us that age-size disparity and exhibition dynamics don't magically disappear just because the names are legendary. That contradiction is the entire intrigue, not pure sport, not pure circus, a strange middle ground where nostalgia, ego, money, and competitive identity all coexist under one spotlight. And let's be honest, whether people call it a spectacle, a business move, or legacy clash, the attention factor is undefeated. Fans debate it, analysts question it, critics doubt it, and yet everybody still watches when the bell rings. That's the gravity of icons stepping back into the arena.
Not to get too far afield, guys, the point is, whatever you thought about that fight going in, when that fight was going on, you had to watch it. The question about making a big event is it compelling enough that even if I talk about this with Jake Paul sometimes, right? Whatever you want to say, when he chooses the right opponent.
Now here's the real debate. Are we witnessing calculated legacy theater or two elite minds refusing to let their competitive right everyone? Stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Ring Headquaterzz and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.